Return of the Living Dead 2. Trioxin Shadows. 1988. Echo Artifact Release. The shooting script. This is not just a lost sequel. This is a veil bleed from another world. An alternate timeline variant of Return of the Living Dead 2 that followed in the footsteps of the original, creating a much darker sequel. Buried under decades of trioxin fog and broken timelines, there lived another version of the 1988 film. And from that world, a world where the trioxin fog never cleared, we bring you the echo artifact known as Return of the Living Dead 2, Trioxin Shadows. Condemned, reconstructed, delivered. The full shooting script from the real alternate timeline in which it was written. Catbox download. This is Vault 2 of Return of the Living Dead. And the dead remember. It begins before dawn, in a Kentucky wood veiled with kudzu and static air. Two young kids discover a corroded barrel at the mouth of a drain pipe labeled only with a warning. 2-4-5 trioxin. Return to U.S. Army. Unstable. Green mist leaks from its cracked seam. And something skeletal moves in the dark. A raccoon. Long dead. Decomposed. Eye sockets encrusted with maggots. Jerks to life and lunges. The kids flee from the reanimated raccoon, screaming, "It's dead! It's dead!" The trioxin mist spreads into the storm drains, into the streets. Two city maintenance workers have a run-in with the rotting raccoon, but escape before it can attack them. Elsewhere, four kids, Trevor, Ashley, Keith, and Gabby, ride their bikes into that same tunnel. They find the trioxin barrel, see the green mist. Then they hear movement. A skeletal rat assembles itself from dust and black ooze. Then the rotting raccoon shows up and tries to attack them. And when they run, the undead creatures give chase behind them. Meanwhile, an EMT named Sean tries to save a dying colonel with a large bite wound on his scalp. "They dropped the bomb on Louisville," he gasps. But it didn't work. It spread, files were transferred, hospital archives. The truth is buried in reels. Megan, a nurse with a dark curiosity, joins Sean. Together, they descend into the hospital morgue to search through the hospital archive room for evidence of what the colonel was saying. The coroner jokes, buzzes them through, but the green mist has already entered the vents. Up above, a military chopper surveys a crater from the failed airstrike. Rain carries the fallout east, toward the suburbs. Deeper in the tunnel, the kids find a second barrel, still hissing. Trevor peers inside, and something peers back. Keith kicks the barrel. In the morgue basement freezer, the coroner sips from a flask. Green mist curls under the door. Something inside one of the corpse drawers thuds, then whispers, "Let me out." A drawer slides open by itself. A hand reaches out. At a decaying playground in town, a missing child poster flaps in the wind. A Fisher-Price radio hisses to life. "Lucy, come play. It's not cold anymore." A skeletal girl rises from the sandbox, doll head in hand, pigtails full of sand. Her eye sockets are empty. The dead don't just rise. They remember. The kids escape the sewer and take shelter in a crumbling Victorian house. Wallpaper peels like skin. The floorboards whimper. Outside, a reanimated dog with a mangled, bloody appearance runs down a suburban street, while a kid's tricycle lays on its side with the wheels still spinning, the seat covered in blood. A manhole nearby opens, with many hands clawing out. Tarman returns through the sewage gate and comes after the kids in the abandoned house. Having escaped from the second barrel that the kids had looked into and kicked earlier, Trevor begins to get sick and change, having breathed in the mist. "It looked at me," he mutters. "In the barrel. It saw me." Panic spreads like mold. A reanimated cat with half of its face a skull chases a living rat down the hallway, while the scared kids rush up the staircase, before being confronted by Tarman yelling, "Brains!" Meanwhile, we see the mist reanimating the corpses in the local cemetery. Corpses clawing out of their graves. Soon afterwards, 3 punks, Maria, Sarah, and Seth, cross fog-choked streets blaring music. They meet the corpses face to face. They run. When they finally think they're safe, Seth is bitten by the rotting raccoon, who shows up while they're resting, to take a big bite out of his arm. A teen boy named Jay listens to local radio stations, CB radio, and military frequencies to gather what's going on, and decides to journey to the local radio tower to warn people. When he tries to make his escape from his home, he finds both of his parents dead on the floor in the living room, their brains being chomped by reanimated corpses. While they're distracted, he walks out the open door with his box of supplies. He eventually climbs the radio tower with a transmitter kit to warn others. "Do not breathe the fog," he says. "If you're hearing this, run." One of the corpses that killed his parents follows him up the tower. The corpse attacks. They both fall. Back in the abandoned house, Trevor dies, then twitches, then rises. The kids barricade the room. Tarman claws at the door. The flashlight catches slime. Then, silence. Then, scrape, scrape, scrape. In a flash, Ashley is dragged off and gets her brains devoured. Trevor lunges at Keith and Gabby. They smash a window and escape. Tarman watches from the shadows and laughs. Sarah and Maria pull Seth in a cart, his veins turning black. They pass a power station. A zombie is struck by lightning and mutates. Cora-like tendrils erupt from its skull. It emits a sonic shriek that kills their radio. Seth groans. "They're changing. The gas. It's rewriting them." In the hospital archive, Megan and Sean find the reels. In grainy footage, a man dies, then speaks. "Too loud," he moans. "Turn off the thinking." Another whispers, "Remember." Later, terminal children in the hospital's locked ward have reanimated. Sean has his brains eaten by the reanimated children's ward. Megan flees through smoke and flickering lights. A dying medic hands her a keycard and says, "You don't belong in this place. Get out." On the other side of town, military forces prepare evacuation. Halverson gives the order. "If the other sites flare up, we burn them too." Gabby and Keith reunite with Maria and Sarah. All roads lead to a hilltop evacuation site. Tarman follows. This time, with the rotting raccoon draped over his shoulder like a grotesque parrot. Undead Trevor follows behind them. Seth lights a flare and turns to face the horde. "Just remember me," he says. The others run. Helicopters descend. One by one, the survivors are pulled in. The fog swirls, and from a crackling radio, a voice speaks. "You buried us. We remember. You thought the dead forgot. They didn't. They remember you. Vault 2 has opened, and the fog is spreading again."